Okay, well, I'm live. I mean, I just want to see how this goes. I want to get some people in. I want to see if I can get some people in the chat, because this is actually a very interesting matchup. I wanted to stream it because I'm not that versatile in my knowledge of SCPs. So I was thinking, like, if anyone gets in the chat, they could like help me if I'm saying something ridiculous. All right. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Before I even knew who like SCP-3812 was, and I just like quickly checked his like versus battle thing. I just kind of assumed that like the Ohio Final Boss would kind of just body him, because like the Ohio Final Boss is like, so like okay, SCP-312, right? 3812. He is like boundless, right? He's immeasurable speed, whereas I've already clarified the Ohio Final Boss is like far, far above that. So my instantaneous thought on who would win this was just, oh yeah, no, no, no. The Ohio Final Boss would just body him. It's not even close, right? So at first I didn't want to make this, and then I figured out, I saw a video that talked about the fact that he like literally has an ability that makes him stronger than his opponent who he's fighting, which I might say is actually the most broken ability in the existence of anything. Like, I have never heard of an ability that is that broken in my life. Like, the only people who I can even think of in like fiction or reality is like God himself. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so powerful he'd be able to do that. Or he can create any concept he wants, so he'd be able to do that. So, like, his ability is ridiculous. SCP-3812. Like, that ability is just broken. I'm going to be 100% real. And I don't know. I, I, it's such a tough comparison, you know what I mean? Because, okay, so if we run over, like, some of SCP-3812's abilities really fast, he has, like, reality warping, conceptual manipulation, teleportation, space-time manipulation, matter manipulation, energy manipulation, weather manipulation, void manipulation, explosion manipulation, higher dimensional manipulation, creation, shape-shifting, all of this stuff, right? Plot manipulation, law manipulation, physics manipulation, resistance to power nullification, which is ridiculous. He has such a similar power set. Like, okay, obviously the Ohio Final Boss has like some specific things, like a Sharingan, that like SCP-3812 just doesn't have, right? But like when you go to like the top tier abilities that they both have, they just have such a similar ability set. It's not even funny, right? Like, if at the beginning of the fight, right, before they even start fighting, the Ohio Final Boss just bodies SCP-3812. Like, power-wise, everything. You know, he was already boundless, all this in base form. And then you add just, like, Cosmic Ohio, 10 times Hollow Mask, all of this ridiculous, all of these insane abilities. Like, you add them all on top of each other, right? He automatically just kind of bodies SCP-3812 in power at the start of the fight, right? The problem is that as it keeps going on, the thing you would have to disprove is that SCP-3812 could just, just imagine he's more powerful than the Ohio Final Boss and just win, you know? Like, if he imagines that, or if he just uses that ability, the fight, it might just be over. It's actually such a broken ability that SCP-3812 has. It's I don't know. I have no clue. I guess so. If we actually get into like the fight, right, between them, since SCP-3812 can just like, you know, almost instantaneously get stronger. The thing you could prove for the Ohio Final Boss is that he could maybe speed blitz him before that ability works. If he's faster than him, if he's, it's so, yeah, I'm very confused. I'm confusing myself right now. So we're saying he's faster, right? The Ohio Final Boss is faster than the SCP, right? If that's possible, could he blitz the SCP before the SCP has this ability to become more powerful than him, right? Because that is the SCP's ability. Can he do that? Because if the Ohio Final Boss can blitz SCP-3812, it's possible he could just one-tap him. I'm not joking. This is not really a fair fight in durability, any of that, at the start of the fight, right? Without SCP just like amping himself with that ability. So, if the Ohio Final Boss can blitz him before the ability gets off, which I'm not even sure if it's possible, right? Then, yeah, the Ohio Final Boss just destroys, okay? It's not even a question. This isn't even a fair fight, really. I just don't know how... Okay, here's something that we could assume. Is that the Ohio Final Boss's manipulation actually just transcends, which it technically is more powerful. Maybe we could assume that it like just transcends SCP-3812's abilities, right? And in that scenario, if we assume that, right, then this is another scenario where I think the Ohio Final Boss just kind of bodies him, okay? If the Ohio Final Boss can just... Oh, wait. There's actually something that I'm thinking of right now. Okay, so he's Cosmic Ohio, right? The form that he has is based off Cosmic Garo, correct? Does he have the same abilities to copy his opponents as Cosmic Garo? Hi. Hello. I'm just doing this video real fast. You know, SCP-3812 versus the Ohio Final Boss. Because I was requested to do it, as you can see from this comment. And it got a lot of likes. I don't know that much about the SCP, so I didn't want to like make a full YouTube video about it. Because I just look like a complete idiot, right? I wanted to like stream, see if I could get some people talking with me in the chat to correct if I'm saying something ridiculous, right? But back to the point. So if the Ohio Final Boss has like Cosmic Ohio, which is Cosmic Garo's form, and he can copy his opponent's abilities, right? Like Cosmic Garo was able to up against Saitama in their fight. Could could the Ohio Final Boss copy SCP-312's ability to just transcend his opponent? Because then what that means is that they just infinitely transcend each other. So basically, SCP-3812, from what I can gather, just has so he's boundless, he's immeasurable speed, all that ridiculous stuff. But as I've already, clarified, like, the Ohio Final Boss is, like, above that, right? See, the problem is that SCP-3812 has, like, this ability to just transcend his opponent. Just, like, almost instantaneously. Just infinitely surpass his opponent and get to a higher dimensional plane than his opponent at the start of the fight. On top of that, he has, like, all of these manipulations. He has basically every ability or every potent ability that, the Ohio Final Boss has. He has, like, teleportation, space-time manipulation, matter manipulation, reality warping, concept manipulation. He has all of the same abilities that just make the Ohio Final Boss so incredibly powerful, right? So it's it's such a tough fight. But the cosmic form that the Ohio Final Boss has, if we assume that that can copy the ability of SCP-3812, right? Then this fight will just have them completely tied up and just like countering each other with their abilities. So in that case, the Ohio Final Boss might just tie. It might just be an all-out just tie. I'm not... I don't see any other situation where, like, you know, if they're on the same level of power with the same abilities, it's just what do you do? They just infinitely transcend each other. So they just stay the same power the whole fight and go to a level that no other being in fiction could ever even touch. That's actually a cool concept. If both of them like went to this level where like no other character in fiction could touch. I've seen some people say like Shaggy could like beat the Ohio Final Boss, right? At like full power, something. Like it's possible that the Ohio Final Boss could just like after their fight or like at any point in their fight, if you took him out of the fight, he would be at a point where he could just like body Shaggy, body the King of Ohio isn't even relevant here. Who is relevant? Body Giga Chad's strongest form. If it's not Cosmic Giga Chad, right? He could just body them all. If he transcends to this ridiculous level. It's like Aizen transcending. But like like infinitely more potent, right? So, like I said, situation number one is that the Ohio Final Boss like copies SCP-3812's abilities with his Cosmic Ohio form. And then the fight is just an all-out tie. There's no real way to prove one would win or the other would win. Another situation is we assume that like the Ohio Final Boss can't actually, with his Cosmic Ohio form, copy the abilities of SCP-3812, right? And in that situation, if the Ohio Final Boss can't just like speed blitz the ability to transcend, the SCP's ability to transcend his opponents, if the Ohio Final Boss can't speed blitz that ability, then I think it's fair to say that SCP-3812 would win. However, considering the Ohio Final Boss is like massively faster, massively stronger at the beginning of the fight, it's possible that he could blitz the ability. I just don't know enough about the ability. Like, is his ability just like omnipresent or something, where you just can't avoid it, right? Like, no matter what you do, it just gets transcended. Because in that case, yeah, no, SCP-3812 just bodies. Like, and it's not even a fair fight. But if we assume, right, that the Ohio Final Boss could either blitz the ability or transcend to the point where he could tie the ability, I think in those two situations, or sorry, in the one where he is able to, you know, speed blitz his ability, it's like he could potentially win? Like I said, it's such a dumb comparison. Because SCP-3812 can just surpass his opponent. Just by fighting them. Oh, man. And, like, okay, if the Ohio Final Boss just doesn't blitz, if he has no prior information, shows up and just tanks the ability of the SCP, right? Then the SCP just wins. And I also want to clarify, if the Ohio Final Boss is, like, if he can't if he okay, so like I said, the only situation where the Ohio Final Boss wins is if he copies the abilities of the SCP, or he ends up tying in that situation, right? That's the situation where he ties, okay? If he's not in Cosmic Ohio at the start of the fight, and he can't just blitz the opponent, or it's in character that he doesn't just like blitz the opponent, which I say it would be. I don't think, unless he has prior information, it's in character for him to just, just blitz his opponent. I kind of feel like the Ohio Final Boss just kind of has to flex on his opponent, right? That's what he does. He flexes on his opponent. And if he decides to flex on this SCP, that might just be the end of the fight. Like, the SCP might just take it at that point. In that situation, I think, so it depends on what situation we're putting them in. If they both have knowledge on their opponent, then I think the Ohio Final Boss has such a massive AP and speed advantage that he could potentially, blitz the ability. I don't know if that's possible, but if it is, he could blitz the ability of the SCP and win the fight. Right? But if he doesn't have prior knowledge and he can't speed blitz the ability of the SCP, what is he meant to do? Like, this ability that this SCP has is just like above fiction itself levels. Above everything itself. He can just surpass his opponent at any point? I don't know, man. Okay. So I think, even though I love the Ohio Final Boss, actually, wait. So let's say the Ohio Final, that doesn't work though. Maybe it does. Okay, wait. Let me think of something. I don't know if this would work. I don't know if we could do this, but if we assume, right, the Ohio Final Boss can stack his Hollow Mask on top of his Cosmic Ohio form, right? We assume the Ohio Final Boss copies the abilities of the SCP, and then they just infinitely fight. If the Ohio Final Boss is able to, get his 10 times multiplier while transcending, would it be to a point where he'd be 10 times more powerful than the SCP? Or would the SCP just transcend that 10 times multiplier, and then the Ohio Final Boss would transcend that, and then the SCP would transcend that, and they just keep transcending each other? I don't know. I mean, I guess we could also talk about the Ohio Final Boss's, like, abilities, in, like, equal stats. So if the Ohio Final Boss copies him and they're in an equal stats thing, right? Equal stats fight. In that scenario, what does the Ohio Final Boss have? Like, I'm just wondering, because, like, reality manipulation, all of that would probably just get canceled out by the SCP. They're on the same level. They both have reality manipulation, time-space manipulation, all of that stuff, right? I think we should review all of the Ohio Final Boss's TikToks, right? Just to make sure, just to really see, is there an ability that, like, at an equal stats level could defeat this SCP? I'm wondering. Okay, let's see. I gotta get this set up on OBS real fast. Okay, do you see that? You do. Okay. Okay. I gotta check this man. We gotta check this man's TikTok to see what his abilities are like. Okay? Because I know he has all of the abilities, but you could just like kind of say for some of them that like reality manipulation, whatever, could just like cancel them out. Okay. Let's see. Is this good? Is this good? Yeah. We'll just go like that. I'm gonna unmute. You can play the audio. Oh, that is... Okay, I have not seen this, by the way. This is a new ability that he's gained. What about the light skin stare? I forgot about that. I'm just switching in between tabs to check chat. Because my chat thing is like so bad. Give me a second, I gotta see. Can I get it to a point? Okay. No. This chat extension in OBS is terrible. Alright, here we go. I have the chat up now. I can actually read the chat without switching. So, first of all, he has one flick of heaven. That's a good ability, but on equal stats, it's like, I don't know if that'll actually damage his opponent. The thing that I'm thinking about is the light skin stare. Would this work? Would this do something? Is this like a reality manipulation type thing that like, if you combine the light skin stare with reality manipulation, could it just transcend his opponent's reality manipulation? I don't know if the light skin stare is really a power thing, like a hack's ability in that sense, as much as it's a hack's ability in like just messing with your opponent. You know what I mean? Like making your opponent uncomfortable. Oh, wait. Doesn't the SCP have like mental issues? Wait. He has like schizophrenic stuff, right? Like stuff like that. I don't know enough about him. I already said this. I don't know enough about the SCPs. I'm not really up to snuff. That's why I'm streaming this on YouTube, because I don't want to say something ridiculously stupid and then have the final thing being like this ridiculous answer that no one agrees with, right? Could the light skin stare invoke? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Has he ever dealt with the light skin stare before? That's actually a good question. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. How does he deal with the light skin stare? Like if he's a mentally ill person, like if I was mentally ill and I saw someone staring at me like this, I don't want to say this on... Can I say this on... How do I say this in a way that doesn't get me taken off the platform? I might just jump. Just do it, you know? Just do it, you know, the Nike thing? There'd be a certain no. I'm just trying to say this in a way that just doesn't, you know, get me pulled off the platform before I can even start a career. Yeah, I don't know if he's ever met the light skin stare before. Wait, was SCP-3812? Who was he again? Like, I'm wondering. I know the Versus Wiki isn't always 100% correct, but it's a nice, you know, like, judgment for some stuff. Who was Sam Howell again? Is this Sam Howell? So, Sam Howell is black, right? I think I don't want to say the wrong thing here. He's black, right? Like I said, I don't want to say something like that and then have it be wrong, right? Oh, man, okay. And what time was Sam Howell from? Because, like, okay, if Sam Howell is black, right? It's possible he's seen the light skin stare before. Okay. African American. Yeah. Who is believed to have died in 1996. You want to see the Ohio final boss fight against a furry? Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not a fair matchup. Like, I would take Drake, White Drake. You know, like one of the worst fighters in existence. I'd take him. To fight a furry. Like, honestly, Walter White. I don't know how powerful Walter White is, like, without the memes, but, like, just Walter White with his bare hands could body a furry. He has cancer, right? Like, he could just body the furry. It's not fair. I don't even have to go over the furry part. He would just foderize the furry. The furry couldn't even see him. The furry is in such a lower dimension. I mean, if it's an Ohio furry, then I have some questions for, like, White Drake. Walter White would still destroy him, but I have some questions for White Drake if it's, like, an Ohio furry. You know? But I think that the furry would just get absolutely bodied. I know it's a joke. I know. I'm joking too. It's not a fair comparison. The light skin stare gives Sam PTSD. Okay? During the PTSD attack, the Ohio final boss finishes 3812. I actually think that that's possible. Right now, I think that that's probably the most likely scenario. Like, at the start of this fight, I was like, the SCP's hack ability is, like, so ridiculous that he just ends the fight. But I think the light skin stare might be an even stronger hack's ability in this situation. Yeah, I think the PTSD attack, the mental illness attack will just end the fight. Oh man, is there any other? I want to check all the win conditions, but that's an insane win condition. Because the Ohio final boss does do the light skin stare, like, a lot. Like, if they're in a drawn out fight where they just, like, keep transcending each other, at some point he'll do the light skin stare. That's not even a question. I just want to keep checking, though. I want to see some more abilities that we have here. We got the light skin stare once again. Like, look at this. This man just pulls up with the light skin stare. So it's very much possible he just pulls up with a light skin stare and wins the fight. Right? Like, he's doing the light skin stare while summoning Cone. He's just perpetually doing it. If he just uses one ability, it might just be over. I guess you could say, no, but, like, he'd attempt to use some of his weaker abilities. If the fight keeps going on, and he can't, and, you know, the reality manipulation is, like, countering each other out, right? If the fight keeps going on, then I think he'd use the light skin stare at some point, right? Because he uses it with all of his weaker abilities. Even at this point, he has the light skin stare. It doesn't even matter what point it is. He'll just pull up with the light skin stare. I gotta remember that. I gotta rewatch this video. That's more like a Yujiro Hanma stare. I don't know if that's a light skin stare. So I don't think... And I've already kind of established that if he's in... Well, actually, wait. Okay. So if he shows up in base form, right? Then it's a problem. Because he just get transcended. But if the SCP allows him to go into Cosmic Ohio and he uses the light skin stare while doing it, which it doesn't... Oh, okay. Never mind. If the SCP allows him to go into Cosmic Ohio, it's over. Because of the light skin stare. So if we're assuming he shows up in Cosmic Ohio with the light skin stare, he wins. If he can copy the ability, which since it's Cosmic Garo can copy abilities, Cosmic Ohio, I think he can just copy that ability, right? He just goes mode SCP-3812 and then wins with the light skin stare. Yeah, because if the SCP has like a mental, like if his mental is like nerfed, if his mental is nerfed to the point where like he's just phased and his ability might not work, like is it okay, I guess the question is, if his mental is nerfed, will the ability still just keep working? But if his mental is nerfed, would his power go down even if the ability is working? I'd assume that since his, I think part of his character is like mental stuff. I think that's where he gets some of his powers. So it would make some sense with me being a complete idiot in the dark, not knowing basically anything about SCP or knowing just the bare minimum to make a video. It's possible that if the SCP, like, if his mental is just completely gone to the point where he just can't use his ability, which since the SCP's, one of his abilities come from, like, his mental state. Like, that's part of how he gets his abilities. So if his mental is nerfed, I think that might just be the fight. So if we assume, unless the final boss of Ohio just decides to suppress his power at the start, which is ridiculous, because he probably does know a decent amount of who he's up against. If he's entered Ohio, he knows the bare minimum about the being. Yeah, I know. I'm saying it. So I'm saying the SCP, so he's like mentally ill. Yeah, severe mental problems. He has a schizophrenic complex, right? So it's possible that his abilities power, from what I've seen, it's possible that his abilities vary in power depending on his mental. I don't know if that's true, though. Like, you'd have to prove that that's true. That's tough. Like, does he get weaker with mental attacks? Because his powers come, like, part of his powers are a schizophrenic complex, right? Yeah, I'm thinking that too. But you could also, like, I'm talking Scarlet Witch, if I remember correctly, powers get weaker when she has a panic attack or something of the sort. Yeah, I'm thinking about how his mental state interacts with his powers. Like, that's very important for the light skin stare. Because if part of his powers are, like, from his mental stuff, and he's mentally ill, maybe if his mental gets worse, he gets stronger. But it's possible also that if his mental gets worse, he gets, like, infinitely weaker. You know what I mean? Oh, so, okay. Its mental problems seem to originate from overexposure to narrative as a being with human intelligence is unable to perceive higher levels of reality without mental modification to allow for such a feat. So how would his abilities really interact? That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. How do his abilities interact? So he has a normal human intelligence, but his exposure to the narrative. So obviously, I think the narrative is like what allows him to just narrative. He can just like surpass his opponents with his narrative, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's a narrative of the character that allows him to supersede other characters. how would the light-skinned stare interact with his mental in that situation? What does the light-skinned stare do? Actually, whoa! Isn't the light, okay, so I'm just thinking, this man right here, right? He has the ultimate light-skinned stare, no? Like, look at this. I don't know if you can see this. You can see that, right? Like, this man Gojo has the ultimate light-skinned stare, no? What am I even going? I forgot what I was doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Where was that even going? I'll remember. Give me a second. I'll remember. Right. See, light-skinned people are superior in looks. Like, look at this man right here. This man is light-skinned, right? He just gives off the look that he's superior, right? And the abilities of the SCP-3812 are to become superior to his opponent, correct? So, if the light-skinned stare has abilities to, make him seem superior to his opponents, and SCP's abilities come from his mental. You see where I'm going here? You see where I'm going with this? It's possible that the light-skinned stare is so powerful, gives such a superiority, just a look of superiority, that it would that the Ohio Final Boss would just body and win the fight. This is a stretch for sure, but that's not ridiculous, is it? He just... That'd be ridiculous. I think that we're gonna grant for this fight, because I really do want to. And I think the light skin stare... okay, another thing you could say for the light skin stare is that, so there's, Boundless tier, and Outerversal tier, all these tiers, right? And we know the Ohio Final Boss is, at the very top of Boundless, right? Okay. Give me a second. I gotta get my train of thought once again. So there's a tier above that, which is the meme. Let me remember. Okay, I gotta remember what the dang it. It's So meme versus battles, joke battles. Yeah. Okay, there's a tier. There's a tier, right? That is beyond Boundless and everything. Joke battles tiering system. Yeah. Meme versal, whatever it is. What is it again? Oh yeah. Memic tier. There it is. If we assume, since this is a meme, right, that is in the memic tier, which is above Boundless, which is what the abilities of SCP-3812 are, then it's possible that the memic tier transcends SCP's power to the point where, the Ohio Final Boss wins, but... I don't know. We could talk about that. The light skin stare could theoretically have a reverse effect on 3812, making him get even stronger than the Ohio Final Boss, because the Ohio Final Boss would look stronger than he is, and 3812 would go stronger than the look and whoop the Ohio Final Boss. Okay, yeah. I guess that is true as well. But okay. So the thing is that we're talking about him in the Cosmic Ohio form, right? So he can copy his opponent's abilities. So he just keeps transcending. So he'd just copy that ability and just keep transcending with the SCP, I believe. Because he's in the Cosmic Garo form. But you know what Cosmic Garo can do, right? So he just copy the abilities and just keep transcending, right? So it just pushed them to even higher levels. It just pushed them into the mematic tier of power, which I definitely think this man is already pretty much in the mematic tier of power in Cosmic Ohio. There's not really much debate on that. So he should be above him at the start of the fight, like I've already said. So just push them all the way to like the top of the mematic tier, right? Oh, but that is a question. So far, if we're talking about Cosmic Final Boss of Ohio, I think it... Yeah, that would place him higher. But the thing is that, like, the SCP can, like, just, the SCP, right, his ability is to, like, get stronger than his opponent. So, yeah. It would just place him higher. Because the mematic tier is revealed, that would place him higher. Yeah, it would place them both higher, is what it would do. They just copy their abilities and just place them higher. I didn't want to use the mematic tier in my videos, because it's like, it's a lot easier to just say boundless, like far into boundless. Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing. That's what. Okay, so that's what I said at the beginning of the fight. If we assume the Ohio Final Boss just like wants to blitz him, knows what his ability is, decides to blitz him and one tap him, that's actually possible, right? But the thing I've been wondering about the SCP's ability is it like, how does his ability work? Like, how would it interact with the speed of the Ohio Final Boss, right? Because he could transcend higher than the Ohio Final Boss. Correct? Or on the same level with the Cosmic Ohio form. They would just transcend at the same levels. So at the start of the fight, if the Ohio Final Boss is like mematic, so much higher of a tier, the ability that the SCP has could just like push him into the same tier as the Ohio Final Boss, and then the Ohio, or at a higher tier, and then the Ohio Final Boss would push himself to a higher tier, and then they just keep pushing each other to higher tiers, right? I guess the thing that I've been wondering this whole time is, could the fact that he's, so how fast is the ability? That's all I have to figure out. How fast is SCP's ability? Like, is it an omnipresent ability where it just exists and it's just faster than the concepts of everything itself, right? It's everywhere at the same time. We're talking that type of speed. Is that how this ability works, or is this just a boundless or immeasurable speed ability? Because if it's just, if we're assuming that it's just like a boundless tier ability, you know, the speed is really only immeasurable, and the Ohio Final Boss is like faster than that, and he decides to blitz him and one tap him. The Ohio Final Boss decides to blitz and one tap the SCP. Then that's actually a situation that I think could happen. It's just the thing I've been concerned about, and the thing that I've been wondering about is, would the Ohio Final Boss just like flex his power, you know? Like, you know how he does some of his things where like we can see his movements, like he allows us to see his movements? Like, the Ohio Final Boss just loves to flex his power. If he full flexes his power and doesn't, like, instantaneously, like, use his ability to blitz SCP, right? He just shows the SCP his power at the start of the fight, which is kind of in character. Would that lead to a situation where the SCP could just surpass him, and then they just go in this infinite loop of surpassing each other? Like, that's the problem. That's what I'm thinking of right now. So you could actually say that because the Ohio Final Boss, Buff Gus slams the Ohio Final Boss though. Ohio Boss though. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get into that fully, but I do think buff Gus. Like, even without the fights, it's like, even without like all of the hacks, and I'm just saying, like with the hacks of like, you know, the peck bouncing, whatever, that might just end the fight. You know what I mean? It's not really about strength or speed or anything. That just might be the end of the fight. According to the stats, Ohio Final Boss is higher. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In his Cosmic Ohio form, he is higher. But the ability that the SCP has is to transcend. It's a narrative that his character has to transcend his opponent's stats. And the thing is that in character-wise, from what we've seen from the Ohio Final Boss, he would just flex his power and give the SCP the opportunity to use that ability to transcend the Ohio Final Boss. Can you see the links? There's links? What do you mean by can you see the links? Is there like, are you like copy and pasting links in here? I don't know. It might, YouTube might automatically like block links just because they don't want people posting like scam links in the chat or something. Oh man, wait. I feel terrible. What's that? I might have to end the stream soon. It says on his page he has the power absorption immunity. The Ohio Final Boss's page? Here, I'll go to it. Mortality, teleportation, telekinesis, gravity manipulation, statistics amplification, time manipulation, power mimicry, reality warping, chaos manipulation, biological manipulation, dimensional travel, fourth wall awareness, breaking the fourth wall, unholy manipulation, fire manipulation, casuality. A superhero. I have. That's a site? I mean, I'll go to the site. Come on. Oh, ad blocker type stuff? That's what we're doing? Ohio Final Boss, okay. Okay, here it is. So it's all of this stuff here. Yeah. I see that. Yeah, power mimicry. He can just mimic the ability. Power reality warping, shape-shifting, size-changing, space survival, the fourth wall, transmission, manipulation. Oh. I can't read right now, I'm going to be honest. So we're saying that like the power absorption immunity just like cancels out the ability. Yeah, if we assume that power absorption immunity just cancels out the ability completely, then yeah, yeah, that's GG. But I don't know if is it power absorption? Like, am I dumb? It's like so it's a narrative ability where he just like has this just ability not to necessarily absorb power, but to just like supersede everything. So would that qualify under power absorption immunity? Let me make sure. I might be extremely dumb. Yeah. Let me see. He has power absorption. Here. This is it, right? Huh. That's unfortunate. He also has power mimicry immunity. I don't know what's happening right now. My thing is spazzing out. Okay. Ability to augment power. Okay. He also has power mimicry immunity. Oh, right. Well, okay, so are we talking? We're not talking about the SCP here, because if the SCP has that, then he can like completely counter the power mimicry immunity, because like the power mimicry is like the cosmic Ohio form, right? Like cosmic Garo power mimics, right? So that would just counter it out. But I don't know. Is this ability? Is this ability mimicking power, or is it just surpassing his opponent's power? Just like automatically, no matter what happens, he just surpasses his opponent's power. Because this ability, I'm not going to lie, this is like almost uncounterable. I don't think I've seen many beings in existence who can really just counter this ability. And I'm struggling here. I feel nauseous for some reason. My brain is like broken. My stomach is broken too. Okay. So he has like top tier, like power mimicry immunity, right? Like I said, if we assume that this stuff works, like if we kind of just assume that even with the narrative, it doesn't matter, he just like counters the abilities of his opponent completely, the Ohio Final Boss does, then yeah, no. There's no chance. I'm gonna be honest. The SCP stands zero chance, right? So if we want to assume that, then yeah, it's just this ability is such like an insane, just like might be the best hack I've ever seen. Or not, sorry, not necessarily, but it is just like real, like like Jehovah, like in the Bible, like he's like completely not just boundless, but like can just do whatever he needs to. It's like that tier, I think. So I just don't know whether it falls under like power mimicry or anything. Do they have the SCP? Let me see. Ooh, I better check that. Because, oh, so He doesn't have any counters. He doesn't have any counters to mimicking the abilities. So yeah, the Ohio Final Boss can just mimic his ability almost no matter what we say. He has omnipresence. Oh, man. Well, I mean, omnipresence isn't really that relevant because, like, mematic is just above omnipresence. Mematic, if you look at the official joke battle thing, like, it's just, I'm pretty sure it's, like, above not only boundless, but, like, omnipresent, all of them. So, I don't think that matters. Okay. Unless, so, if the counter for the ability exists, right? Like, if the Ohio Final Boss, or sorry, if the SCP can just, like, okay, my brain. Give me a second. I'm slow. I gotta catch up. So, in the situation that the Ohio Final Boss can counter out the ability, yeah. I know that. He's just above that. He's technically above the strength and speed. Oh, if he's in a higher dimension, like if he's in like not even dimensionality, if he's like above those concepts, could he at full power even be seen by the SCP? Like, would he exist in the same plane of reality? Sorry, above reality. Wait. Is he on such a higher plane that it's just impossible for the SCP to, like, fight him? Does that work? That's GG. If that's true, that's game over. This isn't a fair comparison because he's in a tier above him. And once we get to these higher tiers, like, they're in different dimensions, like, they can't fight each other, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's it. I think that might be the end. It doesn't matter that the SCP might have an ability that just transcends every counter, everything. If the Ohio Final Boss is just, like, on a higher plane of existence, it doesn't matter. Because there's no fight. He can't transcend the Ohio Final Boss. So yeah, that's the end. I'll do some more of these streams. I just wanted to quickly go over this. I feel sick for some reason too, so I'm gonna have to duck soon. But now we need to see Ultimate Instinct Shaggy versus Ohio Final Boss. Yeah, that'd be a cool fight. I want to do Rick Astley versus the Ohio Final Boss next, cause like I've been getting one guy who's been requesting it for multiple videos. So at some point I'd do the Ultimate Instinct Shaggy. Sorry, I mixed that up. That was almost bad. Because Ultimate Instinct is just far beyond Ultra Instinct. Like, at some point I'll do that video, but I think for now I'll do the guy who's been requesting for a little bit longer. Unless whoever it was who was requesting, I can't remember who it was, but they requested Rick Astley all forms versus the Ohio Final Boss. I'll probably do Cosmic Ohio versus like Rick Astley, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think there's any form of the Ohio Final Boss besides Cosmic Ohio Final Boss that can really fight Rick Astley. I'm pretty sure that's pretty well agreed upon. So, yeah. I'll do that video next. I gotta go, though. I feel terrible. Alright. See you guys in the next video or stream. I don't know. I don't know when I'll be streaming again. I don't have a great schedule, but if I feel like it, I'll stream. Maybe I'll post like a community tab thing. What do you think of that? Like just post, oh yeah, stream started, and then link it. Yeah, I'll do that. All right. GG's. I'm out.